Hey guys, this is Kendall, and welcome back to Final Fantasy II. When we last left off, we defeated the Emperor. We killed him. We saved the day. Except the Dark Knight immediately took over the Empire, and it turns out that it is Leon, Maria's brother, who's been missing since the very beginning of the game. Not that it's a huge surprise. We already kind of, knew that when we met him in the Dreadnought. Maria recognized his voice. But beyond that, the towns of Poft and Paloom and Altair and Gatria have been completely destroyed, leaving Salamand, Bathsk, Finn, and Mysidia. And now we know the only way to reach Palamecia is by air. Thankfully, Sid left us his airship when he died, so it's time to go claim it. So yeah, Gatria completely destroyed, cannot even enter it at all anymore. Alright, while we're at it, we still have... we have a level 7 flare. Let's just go straight for the regular attacks, though. There we go. We have, level 7 flare, level 7 holy, and level 7 ultima. The ultima spell, the ultimate magic. Yes, Final Fantasy II was where that started. Final Fantasy I had holy and flare, although... not by those names, originally, not at least originally, but those are the names the franchise has come to know them by since. Alright, so our best bet here is probably by sea, getting to the remains of Poft, where the airship remains as well. Oh, come on. Why is my audio cutting out? It makes no sense. Oh, I hate that it does that. I don't know why it does that. Come on. Alright. I think we're fine for now-ish. We'll see. Nope, it's still going, I think. It's like I haven't touched anything. I haven't moved anything. So why does it cut in and out like that? I have no idea. Alright, all I know is I'm feeling a little bit toasty. I've got my front window I'm going to open. I'll be right back. I'm going to open up my back door a little bit, get some air through here. Kind of nice out today. Ish. Nice-ish. Alright. That's a little bit better. That'll cool things off a little bit. So yeah, sailing past Paloom. And here it is, the remains of Poft. Oh, no, wait a second. That was Altair I just passed. This is Paloom. I'm an idiot. That's what I get for not paying attention to where I'm going. Yeah, Palamecia is an impregnable mountain fortress. The only way in is from the air, so that's what we need the airship for. There we go. Oh, I can't go any further into the port? Alright, well, right there then. So yes, the monsters are even stronger now. Because the Emperor may be defeated, but there's a new Emperor in charge. Alright, but we have the airship, so we can go anywhere we want. Even Salamand, which is still a functional town. Don't let Joseph's death be in vain. You have to get that bell to Kashwan. I already did that. That's a long time ago. Yeah, there's really no reason to come to Kashwan right now. Alright, so... I kind of want to take a look around. Up over this way. Because again, I swear there is a Chocobo forest around here somewhere. But I'm not sure entirely where it is. I just have no idea. Alright. Maybe there isn't another one. Maybe it really is just the one. Huh. You know, it was, what, a little hole in the forest? And I'm not really seeing anything here. We would have to, like, wander through the forest itself. Because I'm not seeing, like, any separate clearings. Not on their own. Well, alright then. It is time to go to Palamecia then. So we already know where that is. It's by the Colosseum. And so here we go. Let's go ahead and land in Palamecia. We're nearing the end of the game. This isn't the last dungeon, but it's close to it. And we have 17 chests to open. Alright. I can't get through there. We have amoebas. I think we should focus on physical attacks for a little bit. You know, these monsters are finally strong enough we can get some decent upgrades. So until we stop seeing upgrades on our physical attack skills. Alright, so down... Oh, it's a trap. Alright. So there's a chest there. And a door and a chest all the way down there as well. Okay, we got a diamond cuirass. Is that better than the diamond armor? Yes, it is, because it's less magic interference. So we'll go ahead and do that. Oh, I have 2 of those. How do I have 2 of those? Oh, higher defense, but lower magic defense and higher magic interference. That's part of why I have 2. Alright. Do I want to? I don't think I do. I lose attack, but gain defense. I think we'll be fine. Okay, we got more Gotos. A6, okay, not bad. Alright, anything in here? Nothing in here. Alright, so we got to go around. There's 2 stairways we can try. I'm not sure which is going to be the way forward or not. Oh, we're facing Black Knights finally. Remember them all the way from the very beginning of the game? The very first fight. We got trounced hard by them. And now we can take them out. You know, 2 characters working together. Look how far we've come. Alright. Not bad at all. Getting a lot of gil for this, too. The Killer Mantis Vampire Girls. We already know how to deal with them. They're not too much trouble. Alright, ignore that one. Okay, I think I want to see where... Ooh, Devil's Bloom and Skulls. I want to see where this first staircase takes us. Can't forget that there is a treasure chest on this floor, though. That we need to grab. Now, I don't think Palamecia is a one-time use, one-time dungeon, but I could be wrong. You know, like the Cyclone was, or Leviathan, or there was another one, wasn't there? I don't remember. Okay, good choice. Because this is a dead end with a treasure chest. Now we have stone golems. Uh-oh. Oh, and they're strong against most physical attacks. Okay, then let us flip. Oh, shit. Okay, we seem to be okay, I think. Let's do Flare. Holy. And Ultima. And attack. I still find it funny that Ultima is classified as a white spell here. Usually it's seen as black magic. It's like, it's not in every Final Fantasy game, but when it makes an appearance, it's usually classified as, a black magic spell. Even above Flare. Flare is usually like the top tier black magic spell, the ultimate black magic spell. When Ultima shows up, it's usually, above Flare. Alright, what do we got here? We got an hourglass. Not quite sure that was worth the diversion, but I did promise to open every treasure chest, so definitely glad to get that one. I'm glad it's not like Final Fantasy 1 where it won't let you, or at least, you know, on the PS1 it didn't let you open treasure chests when you already had everything, you know, already had a full stack of what was inside it. Like if it was a potion, you know, you had 99 potions, it wouldn't let you open it up. Here it does. It just says, oh, you can't carry it. But it still leaves the chest open. Alright. There we go. Bye-bye, Gotos. Alright, Bacchus's wine. Alright, let's get that treasure chest before we take these stairs, because then we're done with this floor. Oh, we got ambushed. That's not good. But at least these guys aren't bodying us anymore. Alright, we're good with physical attacks here, though. We could use a better bow from Maria. You know, she's not doing as much damage as everybody else, even not accounting for the fact that she's only using one weapon. You know, Richard's using one weapon as well. You know, Guy and Therian are dual wielding, so they get 2 hits in. You know, 2 sets of damage. Guy's axe leveled up. Oh, we got a Yoichi bow. I just said we needed a new bow for her, and this is a good one. Legendary bow of unparalleled power cast berserk when used in battle. And that is a good upgrade from 83 to 117 attack. Yes, please. Alright, let's get this treasure chest open. After we deal with this wood golem. Yeah, now she's doing decent damage. You know, her bow is on par with, you know, one weapon swing from any of the other 3. So that's exactly what we needed. Okay, we got some garlic. Alright, Devil's Bloom and Skull. Oh, yes. 1,000 damage from her. Yes. Alright. Okay, up here. Alright, so we've got a path around the top. That takes... Okay, we want to go down first. The path that leads north winds around the map to the stairs, but the one to the south leads to a treasure chest. We want to open that one first. There we go. Black Knight, Wood Golem. No trouble from you. There we go. Alright, some good upgrades. Got a new diamond shield. Got an ether. We don't need the diamond shield, do we? Rickard has a flame shield. Yeah, diamond shield, same thing, just resistant to lightning. Whereas this is resistant to ice. I don't think it really matters too much. Oh, there's a chest up here. I didn't even see that on the minimap. Alright. Deal with that wood golem. There we go. Okay, what do we got? A buckler. Really? A buckler? A small shield. With, like, nothing. Why are we getting bucklers at this point? Oh, Rickard needs to heal. Alright, Maria, you are my primary healer. Alright, that is... not quite. There we go, that's close enough to full. Alright, we're good. Ambushed! Uh-oh, not good. There we go. Good, good, good. Alright, down and around. We got amoebas again. There we go. Perfect. Oh, so close. Oh, I forgot. Oh, Stone Golem. It's strong, you know, it's resistant to physical attacks. Forgot about that. And it hits hard, too. Alright. Flare. Holy. Ultima. And attack. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Alright. Ooh, thank God. Okay, let's do a cure on Rickard. Alright, keep that going. Deal with those vampire girls. There we go. Alright, up the stairs we go. Well, that doesn't look ominous. That looks very interesting. Okay, so we want to go left first. What's going on here? What is... Oh. An Imperial Shadow. So now we're facing the Emperor's ghost. Okay. I think he's still going to... Oh, shit. He can cast Death? Oh, fuck me. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Life. I might need to switch up to magic to try to take him down quicker. But Maria had a decent hit against him. So did Guy, but I think that was because he got a critical hit. Okay, Curse 8. Good miss. Oh, no, and he's dead. Okay, good. Alright, in that case... Let's go ahead and heal. Thank you. Alright. So yeah, that room just looked a lot more ominous than it really was. But if we're facing off against the Emperor's Ghost now, as a regular enemy... You know, even the Emperor himself is not immune to being reused as a regular enemy fodder. Alright. Okay, Lamias, we can deal with these guys no problem. Alright, we got monsters. What do we got? What do we got? An Imperial Shadow. Okay, let's do magic. Try to take him out quicker this way. And then you just attack like normal. Alright, please don't cast Death. Please don't cast Death. Okay, Curse, that's fine. Just don't cast Death. There goes Death. It missed. Good, 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 good. Alright. That's what I like to see. We got a Thunder Spear. Okay, Rickard, that is for you. A Thunder Spear. Spear echoing with thunder. Cast Thunderbolt when used in battle. That is a nice upgrade. Alright, Rickard's still, you know, well behind everybody else in terms of health. But he's getting up there in terms of power. Especially since all he can do is attack. Now, I never gave him any magic, because again, he's temporary. We're going to lose him soon enough. Now, hopefully it won't be like when we lost Joseph or Minwu for the last time. Where he died. Which, spoiler alert, I already know what happened to him. But, you know, for those of you who don't, let's keep the hope alive, shall we? You know, this world is already dark and depressing enough. Let's keep the hope alive. Yeah, release Elpis. Don't destroy it. That reminds me, at one point, I'm going to have to do Let's Plays of the Resident Evil games. No, I still need to do Let's Plays of most of the Silent Hill games. I only ever did The HD versions of 2 and 3 plus Shattered Memories on the Wii. Oh, I would love to have that game on the PS2. I had the opportunity back when it first came out. I got it on the Wii instead. Because I was like, oh, you know, waggle controls. Let's do that. Lo and behold, most people who played the game played it on the Wii. And so the PS2 version, you know, sold even worse than the PSP version, I'm pretty sure. And now it's like one of the rarest and most expensive PS2 games. You know, it's like the third rarest and most, not necessarily the third rarest and most expensive, you know, PS2 game in general, but, you know, of the survival horror games, I believe. You know, Rule of Rose is like the rarest and most expensive. Then I think it's Kuon. And then I think it's Silent Hill Shattered Memories, but I could be wrong. But then, of course, there's also like a bunch of RPGs. For some reason, it's always survival horror games and JRPGs are like always the most rare and expensive games on almost any given platform. Well, no, that's not necessarily true. Well, no, it isn't to an extent. You know, PS1, PS2, for sure. I think PS3. I recently found out that Crusader of Senti on the Genesis, complete in box, is like $1,500 for a good copy. And of course, Panzer Dragoon Saga on the Sega Saturn is like $1,500 for a good copy complete. Which means I'm probably never going to own them. Which sucks, because I would love to. Okay, we got a door to check out, and then stairs are probably the way forward. So we started at the top, and we fell like all the way to the bottom. We have to climb our way back up to the top of the throne room. But I want to check this door to make sure there's nothing in here. Yeah, it's like I thought I paid a lot for, you know, Dot Hack Part 4 on the PS2. Like $250. I think that's the most I ever paid for a single copy of a game so far. But there's other games I would love to get that are like more expensive. You know, for the last, you know, 10 to 15, possibly 20 years, one of my holy grails has been Harvest Moon on the Super Nintendo. To the point that I ended up buying a reproduction cartridge just so I could have a physical copy of the game. But of course, you know, that game, complete in box, is like $800 or more. Aha! Oh, it was a good idea to come in here. Wizard Staff, Healing Staff, Mage's Staff. What do these do? Restores whomever it attacks. So you can use that on your own people. Okay. A staff crackling with lightning casts thunder when used in battle. Staff imbues with poison casts Scourge when used in battle. Okay. So the healing staff, you know, that'd be good to give to like one of your heavy hitters to have them heal through the power of whacking by whacking your own people. That's kind of funny. But the way this game works, I mean, you can target your own, you know, people. You could not do that in Final Fantasy 1. See, I wasn't kidding during my last gaming pickups video. I do really want to focus more on quality over quantity this year, which means getting a lot of more rare and expensive games. But I do want to get, you know, keep up on new releases and also, you know, other stuff as well. Dragon Armor, ooh, higher magic interference, but I think we have to go with it. The higher defense, resistant to elemental attacks, makes it worth it. I'm thinking for my birthday, I might try to track down a copy of Pokemon Crystal, which I'm hoping the price comes down on that sometime soon, because I just looked, and that one was like $750 to $800, complete in box, according to price charting. Pokemon is always expensive. It's like, they're not even rare, it's just they're always so sought after. Because every single Pokemon game sold in the millions. Every single one. Even the spin-offs have sold in the millions. So the mainline especially, all the mainline games, and that's what I really care about right now at least, is getting mainline games, maybe a couple of the spin-offs. All the mainline games sold in the millions. They're not rare at all. But of course, the market is glutted with, you know, part of it is the market's glutted with knockoffs and bootlegs and reproductions and so on. So you're paying a premium for authenticity, but also because it's so desirable. You know, Pokemon has been popular from the beginning and is still popular today. It is the most popular IP in the world. You know, Pikachu is like the most popular IP mascot in the world, company mascot in the world, even above Mickey Mouse. All right, I don't know which path I'm supposed to be following. But we do have a treasure chest on this one. So I would love to have Pokemon again. I had Pokemon Crystal, brand new, you know, back in the early 2000s after it came out. I remember my mom bought it for me from Circuit City, like for like $40. From the local Circuit City, which is now a Goodwill outlet, because Circuit City doesn't exist anymore. And then, like an idiot, I traded it into GameStop when I traded in my Game Boy Advance SP for a DS. Because I knew, you know, I'd already played through it a couple times by that point. And I knew I wasn't going to be able to play Game Boy Color games on the DS. I kept my Game Boy Advance games, but I traded in all my Game Boy Color games, most of which are rather expensive now, to try to replace them. Like, the only two I've been able to replace so far are Power Quest, which was like $100. You know, it's a fighting game RPG. You know, robot fighting game RPG. And Harry Potter 1, which was like $30, I want to say. It wasn't too expensive. Oh, fuck. Furion. What the hell? So yeah, we're facing off against Curls finally. Didn't even notice that, because I got up to look at my stuff. Alright, let's go ahead and revive. Heal. There we go. Okay, equip. We got the Sunblade. Ooh, evasion is 0. Really? Oh, wow. Okay, we'll take it, though. Oh, it's the Defender. That's where our high evasion comes from. Okay. Evasion's 16. Evasion's +2. So why was my evasion 0? I don't understand it. With the Ice Brand? I don't know, but it's back up to 99%, so I'll take that. We got another Dragon Armor. Why don't we give that to the Dragoon? Oh, it's lower attack, but much higher defense. So I think we'll go ahead and give you that. All right. I don't need to... You know what? We'll fix some of this. Yeah, lower your attack, but raise your defense. There we go. Okay, 12 out of 17. Okay, is this the path forward or not? And I remember, because I remember almost every game I had, you know, on the Game Boy Color as a kid. So it started with Power Quest. That came with my Game Boy Color. It was a Christmas gift from one of my dad's friends. You know, it was a Kiwi Green Game Boy Color. And I was always kind of sad I didn't have the red one. Red's my favorite color. But, you know, the Kiwi Green one is the most nostalgic for me, so eventually that's what I replaced, you know, when I got another one back. Although, I don't have it in the box or anything. But I also had, and in the box, I had Pokemon Crystal, Harry Potter 1, The Legend of Zelda, Story of Seasons? Not Story of Seasons. No, Oracle of Ages, duh. I was getting that confused with Oracle of Seasons and the current name of Harvest Moon. So Oracle of Ages, which wasn't the red one. You know, I wanted the red one because, again, red's my favorite color, which would have been Oracle of Seasons. But I liked the time travel aspect more, so that was the one I got back then. Okay, so we just have a dead end here? Or no, a path there we continue. Okay. I have no idea what's going on here. Alright, preemptive attack. And then, like, I think those were the only, you know, complete in box games I had, because they were all new. I think all the rest I had were used. I bought loose carts of Pokemon Blue and Yellow from a neighbor at a garage sale. And then I even had a carrying case and a handful of games that I got, you know, as a gift from, you know, again, my dad's friend. You know, her son wasn't using them anymore, So she gave them to me. And that included Tetris, Kix, or Quix, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, QIX, Top Gun, I think, and Evel Knievel. Or no, I don't think I had Top Gun. I think I traded Tetris to a friend to get Top Gun. So I think that was it for Game Boy Color games I had as a kid. You know, Game Boy Advance games, there were a few that I did eventually trade in because I wasn't playing them anymore, including Pokemon Ruby. But I've recovered most, if not all of them, outside of Pokemon Ruby. I think that's the only one I had as a kid that I didn't play. Or that I didn't buy back. Okay, so I can't go through there, so this is a dead end. Except, I have to be able to go through on this side to get to that door. So I kind of want to focus on, you know, quality over quantity, getting these... Okay, how do I get to that door then? I have no idea. That makes 0 sense. How do I get to that door? Because all of the... secret passages we've seen have been, like, single blocks. Yeah. We can't get through here either. That's gonna drive me crazy. How do I get to that door? Well, at least it bumped me on my ramble. Yeah, I kept, like, pretty much all of my Game Boy Color games when I traded my Game Boy Color in for a Game Boy Advance. Then, again, when I traded my Game Boy Advance in for a GBA SP. But then I got rid of them when I traded in for a DS. Because, again, I knew I wasn't going to be able to play them. You know, the DS only played DS games and Game Boy Advance games. You know, same with the DS Lite. And then I traded in... Well, no, because that was when I stopped trading in systems. Because by that point, I was an adult with my own money. You know, part of the reason I traded my Game Boy Color in for a Game Boy Advance was, you know, it was the only way my mom was willing to buy me a Game Boy Advance because she knew it would knock down the price. And it's like, well, you know, the Game Boy Advance plays Game Boy Color games. What do you need a Game Boy Color for? And again, the same thing with... you know, a Game Boy Advance SP. You know, trade in your original Game Boy Advance to get the one with the backlight. But then trade in the Game Boy Advance SP to get a DS. Alright. I don't know how you get to that door. It doesn't make that much sense to me. But we gotta go down and around. I have to imagine there's a way to fall down onto that or something? From an upper level? I don't know. So yeah, a few years ago I did eventually... Well, over the years I've tracked down, you know, a Kiwi Green Game Boy Color, a Glacier Game Boy Advance, a Flame Red GBA SP, although it's the AGS 001, which means it has the front-lit screen, not the backlit one. And I'm pretty sure as a kid I had the backlit screen. That or my memory of the screen just kind of faded away after I started playing Game Boy Advance games on DS and DS Lite because those screens are so much brighter. But I never, you know, those were loose systems that I got. And a few years ago, I did get a Game Boy Advance, a Glacier Blue Game Boy Advance in the box. Although I don't think it was the original system that came with the box, because the box and all the documentation were in English. But the system itself was Japanese, which isn't a huge issue because Nintendo handhelds have always been region-free. You know, their game consoles were region-locked, although it was really easy to defeat that on Super Nintendo. But their game handhelds were region-free up until the Switch 2. You know, including the original Switch, up until the Switch 2, which they've put out a Japan exclusive one of that. That is region locked to Japan. Like if you try to import it elsewhere, it will not play anything other than Japanese games. However, international Switch 2s are region free. So it wasn't that much of an issue, but it was kind of annoying. So basically, I just took my loose North American Game Boy Advance and put that in the box. But I would like to eventually do the same, get another Kiwi Green Game Boy Color with the original box, and I wish I still had it. Because I remember when I traded it in, I didn't have the box anymore. And then years later, I was switching rooms with my sister after she went off to college, because she had internet in her room and I didn't. And I found it in my closet. I found the box in my closet. And I eventually threw it out because I had no use for it at the time. And I'm wishing I had kept it. Yeah, it just sucks, the stupid things you do as a kid, thinking, oh, it's never going to matter, oh, you're never going to want to keep this, and then, later as an adult, you're like, oh, I really wish I still had that. Like, years ago, I was getting rid of a bunch of old PC games I didn't play anymore, and I was trying to trade them into a local retro shop. They didn't take used PC games, so I eventually just trashed most of them. Now, they weren't like huge, big box PC games, but they were mostly jewel case games that weren't, very valuable or anything like that, but I still kind of wish I had them. So I had to replace some of them, like the 100 plus great games collection. It's mostly shovelware on there, but there's a couple hidden gems on there. So I was glad to get that this past year. There were others as well, like Tomb Raider: The Lost Artifact. It was a standalone, PC exclusive standalone expansion to Tomb Raider 3. And for the longest time, that was the only way you could play that game, was if you had a physical copy of The Lost Artifact, because it was not included in the digital re-releases of Tomb Raider 3 on like Steam and stuff like that. So it wasn't until the Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered collection came out the last couple of years that people have really gotten a chance to play those original Tomb Raider expansions, because they were locked to PC. They never released on console. So I kind of wish I still had that. I'm going to have to track down a copy eventually. Alright. That's enough ranting for now. Let's get back to the game here. Alright. There we go. Alright, so up these stairs. So it gets us back to this floor. Where, again, how do you get to there? The only other thing I can think, outside of, oh, there's a crack somewhere, we drop down that way. On the next floor, maybe. The only other thing I can think is that there's maybe a secret passage along this wall, and then you can wrap around the side of the map and get in that way. Otherwise, I honestly do not know how you get through that door. And I'm worried that might be where the remaining loot is, because we're still missing, what, 3 chests? 2 chests. So it wouldn't be in a door through a room, because those are usually in 3s. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay. Maybe that was how we first came in here. That has to have been where we first came in. Okay, that's why. Okay. It's because this is the throne room. So before we approach the throne room, we want to make sure we grab those last 2 chests. Because again, this might be a one-time dungeon. I don't remember. Because I don't remember ever having a need to come back to it after the fact. I just don't know whether or not you can come back to it after the fact. Yes, we're facing off against Curls. As a kid, I always said Coeurl because it's spelled C-O-E-U-R-L. You know, Coeurl. But according to Final Fantasy XIV, at least, it should be pronounced Curl. Because I don't know if they ever say it, you know, if it's ever in a voice acted line in Final Fantasy XIV, but there is a quest, and in where it mentions curls, and it's spelled with a Q, I think. I don't remember. But we're going to Flare, Holy, and Ultima. And that should take care of the Stone Golem. And the Black Knights. We'll keep on it. Excuse me. Yeah, that's definitely something I do need to expand this year as well, is my Game Boy Color collection. Like I said, I only have 2, technically 3 games, because I have a loose copy of Harry Potter as well. That's what I keep in my Game Boy Color to keep dust out of the cartridge slot. Whereas the other one's, you know, still in the box. But it's so hard for me to commit to those games because they tend to be, you know, on the more expensive side to get them complete in box. But it would be so easy to collect the loose cartridges, but it's so hard to display them. All right, we got another Sunblade. But if we equip that without the Defender, our evasion drops to 0. So I think we'll keep it as is. Yeah, it's the Sunblade that drops it to 0. But yeah, they just don't display very well, especially like if you try to keep them nice and tight, side by side. For one thing, Game Boy Color games, because they have that convex bump out at the top, they don't stack very well together. You know, the Game Boy Color exclusive games, rather. The Game Boy Color games, the black ones, are fine because it's a convex grip. You know, just like the standard gray Game Boy cartridges, you know, game packs. But the problem is, again, you can't tell what game is what just by looking at it. You know, it's like I had to buy third-party stickers to go on top of my Nintendo 64 cartridges, because otherwise you don't know what game is what. You know, because the N64 cartridges, unlike the, all the other cartridge systems that came before it, their labels don't wrap around the top of the cartridge, so you can't see what it is. Oh! Fuck! I did not mean to do that. Yeah, we're going to reload that autosave. Thank God for autosaves. Because I accidentally just made Maria forget Cure. Her level 10 Cure. Did not want to do that. But yeah, NES cartridges, you can see what's on the edge. Super Nintendo cartridges, you can see what's on the edge. Atari 2600 cartridges, you can see what's on the edge. You know, even Sega Genesis, which I always collect in the box anyways, because a lot more of those have survived, since most of them are plastic clamshell boxes. But N64, which was the last mainstream cartridge-based console outside of handhelds, you can't. And, you know, Game Boy Color, you can't as well. You know, none of the Nintendo handheld systems, including, you know, the hybrids like the Switch and Switch 2, do that. But it kind of makes sense why they don't. The whole thing is portability. You know, you're not going to be looking at it from the edge and stuff like that anyways. So... But it makes it so much harder to display them, because you basically have to find a way to display them, you know, where you can see the labels on the game packs, which ends up taking up way more space. So that's one of the reasons why I like collecting the boxes for those. But of course that makes it way more expensive. Like I was talking earlier about Pokemon Crystal being like $750 to $800 in the box. The loose cartridge itself, you know, an authentic Game Boy, authentic Pokemon Crystal cartridge for Game Boy Color is like $300, I want to say, something like that. No, I think it's more like 150, 200. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But the box itself is like $300, $400. You know, let alone the manual. I actually found it funny. The complete in box cost on price charting was higher than buying all the individual parts that by themselves. You know, the manual, the box, the cartridge. You know, if you bought it piecemeal, like, you might not get the promo stuff, like the Nintendo Power insert, you know, the Nintendo Power advertisement insert, the safety warning booklet. You might not get those, but you'd have, like, everything else important for, like, 50 to 100 bucks cheaper than buying it complete in box. So I guess, you know, there's kind of a premium you're paying to get everything together rather than trying to buy it piecemeal. Because there's a lot of old games I need to get the manuals for at some point. I don't have the manuals for a bunch of games, including some rare and expensive ones. Well, semi-rare and expensive. I don't think I have anything truly rare and expensive outside of maybe 3 or 4 games. Chrono Trigger on the Super Nintendo, complete in box. Xenosaga Episode 3 and Dot Hack Part 4, complete in box for PS2. And I think that's honestly about it for the super rare and expensive. But even then, you know, those games are all $200 to $300. Chrono Trigger might be more now. I don't know. It was less than 150 when I got it back in the late 2000s, early 2010s, something like that. All right. What I wanted to do with Maria was heal everybody up. All right. And then go to town with ethers for her. Oh, I never bought more ethers. I never restocked, did I? Well, we're definitely going to have to do that after this, because we only have 10 ethers left. And then quick save. Alright, so we did get everything. Yes. Yes, okay. Because now it's time to face the Dark Knight. Face Leon. Maria's brother. Therian's friend. Guy's friend. No, Guy's guy. And there he is. I expected you'd come, Therian. Do you really think you can kill me? Stop, both of you! Why do you insist on fighting, Leon? Weak words from the weak. Do you know what rules the world? Power. Sheer power. The Imperial throne is mine. The weak cannot survive without the strong to control them. How many lives did the rebels throw away when they chose to oppose the Empire? What's going on? Who are you? Oh, it's the Emperor. Delusions of grandeur do not become you, Leon. Though I find the thought of you as Emperor quite deliciously absurd, it ends now. This world can have but one Emperor, and I am he. So he's come back from the dead. Back from the pits of hell itself. You're alive? What are you? Not that it matters. The Empire is mine now, and I have no intention of handing it over. Well, sucks to be you, Leon. The Empire? Ha! I have no need for such trifles now. All the world shall fall by my hand and the powers I gained in hell. And your blood will be the first to spill. Really? Well, that's not good. We have to fight him again? Call the Wyvern. You can use it to escape. But what about our airship? Isn't that how we got here? Rickard, what are you doing? You may have a little trouble spilling the blood of Rickard Highwind, last of the Dragoons. Pathetic insect. I will enjoy making you rue those words. May the spirits of the Dragoons lend me their strength. Rickard! Oh, and here comes the Wyvern to save us, including Leon. Ah, I was right. Palamecia is a one-time dungeon. Because now it's been converted. It is no longer the Imperial Fortress of Palamecia. It is Pandemonium, the Fortress of Hell. Oh, Leon ditched his Dark Knight garb. Furion, what's happened? You're the Dark Knight. You'd best start explaining. The Emperor has risen from hell. Rickard died so we could escape. Joseph, Minwu, Sid, Rickard, all dead. I don't know how much more I can take. As long as the Emperor lives, more will die. Leon. Princess, let Leon join us, please. The Dark Knight? A rebel? I leave the decision to you. Leon, let's fight the Emperor together, please. You're the four of us reunited. Maria, Furion. All right. But only until we destroy the Emperor. So Leon joined the party, taking Rickard's place. This is the final party of the game. All right, Leon, he's got some work to do. He doesn't have any magic. And his equipment, Flame Sword, Poison Axe. So I think we'll give him... I do have another... Oh. Oh, he can't do the Sunblade, can he? Okay. Poison Axe. No, he can't do the Sunblade. Okay, he can do the Ice Brand, so that's better than what he had before. Interesting. I thought he could. Alright, Diamond Gloves. Okay, that's fine. Diamond Armor, that's good. But I think we'll give you the the Dragoon Armor. Or the Dragon Armor, rather. Diamond Helm. Yeah, let's stick to that. Alright, Prince Gordon awaits. The audience chamber is right this way. Let's take a look at his status. So he's proficient in a number of weapons, but he's best with sword and axe. Hold on one second. Oh, he's left-handed! Yay! He's left-handed. Maybe that's why he couldn't do the Sunblade? No, it won't do it here either. It must be because he's the Dark Knight. They restricted him. He can't do the Sunblade. Wait, what happened? Didn't I have a second one? Did I not? No. Oh, it must have been a drop from an enemy that I lost when I had to reload that. Because we look at our maps. Oh, it's gone now, isn't it, too? Yeah, it is. It's gone. Fuck. But I swear we got all the treasure chests in Palamecia. Alright, we need more information. Once the monsters of hell poured forth into the world, they entered using a path known as the Jade Passage. Let's go ahead and learn that and ask. Jade Passage. I've heard there's a place in Mycedia known by that name. So we might need to go to Mycedia then to ask about it. The Emperor sold his soul to the devil. Alright, do you know anything about the Jade Passage? There's a narrow strait to the east of Mycedia. That whole area is the Jade Sea. Okay. Well, that's good to know. The castle that appeared at the time of the Emperor's resurrection. It can only be Pandemonium, the fortress of the Lord of Hell. I ask you about the Jade Passage. The myths and fairy tales of Kashwan speak of a small lake in Mycedia. It is said that those who enter the lake are taken to hell. Alright, well, we're going to have to do that. But first, we need to stop at Finn. Alright, it's the guys on the first floor here that have stuff to say. So the Dragoon has passed on as well. So many lives lost. Did they have to die? The Emperor's soul has returned from hell. Oh, and I never took Rickard to see the Dragoon Widow. The risen soul of the Emperor must be destroyed. Pandemonium is a castle of illusion. Its form appears in our world, but the true castle is rooted in hell. I've heard stories of a lake that leads to the underworld, but they're only stories. Castle Palamecia crumbled into ruin and Pandemonium rose in its place. The Emperor must be there. I never thought I'd see the day that Pandemonium, the floating castle of hell, would appear in our world. Alright, and our airship made its journey back to us. And now it's showing us where the Jade Passage is. But I still want to stop at Mycedia. But first, Finn. Alright, first off, let's heal. Please, come in. Cost 0. Okay, let's do it. Now, there is something we need to do. I'm hoping we can do this now. Okay, Paul. This time, you're going to hell? You must be the stupidest sons of... Look, just promise me you'll come back safe. Oh, but how do I get... Oh, come on. How do I get this? You see nothing out of the ordinary. How do I get Paul's stuff? No. No, 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 no. Do not tell me I'm locked out. I swear we should have gotten it by now. Do not tell me we're locked out. Oh, don't tell me we should have done that during the assault on Finn. That can't be true. Paul has a bit of loot that makes the final boss so much easier. And I am terrified that we're not going to be able to get it now. I feel like I should have been able to get it by now. Alright, let's go ahead and sell all this stuff we're not using. Alright, I only have one Sunblade. Alright, sell all this equipment. We're not going to use it. There we go. Sell the Toad Tomes, the Aura Tomes. Death, don't need that. There we go. Alright, sell all of this. Sell the Stun Tome. Diamond Gloves. Alright. Yeah, Jade Passage is the second to last dungeon in the game. Pandemonium is its last. Is the very last. Jade Passage counts. You know, that's how you access Pandemonium. Again, I feel like we should have been able to do this by now. I might end up having to look this up. Alright, first off, though, let's make sure we get everything. There we go. And then ethers. Alright. 22 elixirs. Ethers and elixirs. So again, it doesn't make sense. We should have been able to get it by now. How have we not gotten... Oh, come on. Alright, first off... Alright, let's just do this. I think I might have to look this up. Alright, sorry, I'm looking this up. Oh! Fuck! Fuck, so that's how... Oh my god. It's too late. It really is too late. You're supposed to visit Paul. Yeah, now we can't use keywords on him. You're supposed to visit Paul, use the Cyclone keyword on him after the Cyclone event starts, but before it finishes. And he'll give you access to his secret stash, which is in here, which has like 6 chests. So I'm not going to be able to open every chest now in this playthrough. But there's like 6 chests in there, including the Blood Sword, which is what the final boss is weak against. Oh my god. You can only learn it before getting the Y. Oh my god. No. No, no, no. Because I went and straight up went to use the Wyvern to access the Cyclone. Shit, that is annoying. Well, the final boss is going to be a lot harder now. Not impossible. It's still going to be doable, at least in this version of the game. But it's going to be significantly harder because we can't get the blood sword. Fuck! Oh, that's so annoying. Alright, I do want to visit Deist, though. Because I think, even without Rickard, we should be able to get Excalibur? If I remember correctly, from the Widow. Rickard's gone too, then. Yes. He was a noble dragoon. I'm sure he was pleased that he could die in the name of honor. Alright, so if you ask about the dragoons, I think we'll leave Deist behind and find up a new place to live. There are too many painful memories within these walls. Oh, I meant to thank you for saving the wyvern egg and giving me the chance to see Rickard one last time, even though we didn't. That's why I wanted you to have this. It was the most treasured possession of the dragoons of Deist. Excalibur. With Rickard gone, you should be the ones to wield this sword. Alright, so that's how we get Excalibur. Oh, that is so annoying. Oh, I completely forgot the order of events to get the blood sword. Fuck. Okay. The blood sword's not even the best weapon by this point. It's just, it's really useful in the final battle. You know, the best weapon's Excalibur. And then if we do the Sunblade... Alright, we just lose all evasion, though, with the Sunblade instead of the Defender. It's not worth it. Okay. Leon, let's give you the Sunblade. You have 0 evasion. But that is fine. Oh, that's annoying. Alright, I will be back real quick. I got to close this back door now. Now it's getting a little chilly. The sun's gone down, so... It's getting down into the 40s outside. I'm like, that's a little chilly for me. Leave the front window open for a little bit for now. Well, that sucks. Now, if you want to see a playthrough with getting the blood sword, I'm pretty sure I got it in the PSP Let's Play that's on my channel. You know, the PSP version. And like I said, I've already gotten all of the achievements for this, including all the trophies for this game, including... yeah, if we look at trophies, where is it? Including one for all the treasure chests, which you're going to need to do. Shit. If you guys were following along with me in the hopes of this being a guide to get all the treasure chests, I'm sorry. I failed you. So yeah, if we look down here, travel all map locations, there we go. Collected treasure from 100% of the treasure chests. So yeah, that is a very easy one to miss. You know, if you don't get all the treasure chests in all the 100 one-time only dungeons, and if you don't talk to, Paul at the right time. I just went straight for the wyvern. I didn't even think. Fuck me. Okay. Alright, let's stop at Mysidia real quick. Let's see if we can get more information on the Jade Passage from them. You've succeeded in breaking the seal on the ultimate magic. Now hurry to Finn. Your princess awaits your return. Yes, we've already done that. A cyclone of the Emperor's making is ravaging the kingdoms to the north. Not anymore. A new power glows within you. So Minwu is dead. He was a man who understood well his destiny. I pray that he rests in peace. In peace. We never imagined the magic of the Emperor would be so great. The rebirth of the Wyverns is at hand. Return to the castle and use the royal mirror to call forth the Wyvern. Not anymore. That's all in the past, buddy. The Jade Passage appears with the coming of the devils. Go now, carrying the power of Mysidia with you. Alright, let's talk about the library. Alright, Jade Passage. The Jade Passage is the path joining this world with Hell. The passage leads to Pandemonium, the castle of Hell. Alright, nothing else to ask about. Well, let's do it. Let's go for it. Let's beat this game. We've got an Emperor to defeat. Without the frickin' Blood Sword. To be fair, the Blood Sword does let you cheese the Emperor, basically. And on earlier versions of the game, you kind of have to. He's just so powerful. But I think we'll probably be fine here. Let's go ahead and save real quick. Alright. Nope! Ugh. Frickin' sandworms, that's not what I wanted. There we go. This isn't Dune. There shouldn't be any sandworms here. Alright, in we go. Teleport down below the lake. Alright, here it is, the Jade Passage. 14 chests. And a white magic, or a magic shop, apparently. Alright. So I see 2 chests, 3 doors. I'm not sure which one is the way forward. We've got Chimera Sphinx now. And now this is a little bit going to probably be a little bit of a difficulty spike. I say as we basically one-shot the enemies. I think we'll be fine. Nothing in there, though. Chimera Sphinx. There we go. Alright, okay, so we got a diamond mace. Interesting. Leon, how are you on maces? Staves. Level 5. Yeah, the mace. A mace made of diamond. I don't think we need to worry about that. Let's try the middle. No, let's get the chest first, and then we'll try the middle door. We got heck dies now. I am still just pissed at myself that I did that. Not even thinking. Alright, we got white dragons as regular enemies now. We last saw it as a monster in a chest. You know, even if I hadn't kept the blood sword, even if I didn't use it, I still would have liked to open the chests there. We got Hellfire. Alright. There we go. Okay, good, good, good. Okay, so nothing in this room. There's a couple Abyss Worms and the Heck Dies. There we go. Alright. White Dragon. These guys are pretty common in here. Alright, so stairs down. Okay, what do we got? We got door there, door here. We've got several chests. Alright, let's try this door first. Nothing. Great Malboro, Pit Fiend, and Ice Lizard. And we got ambushed. But I think we'll be fine. There we go. Alright, Chimera Sphinx. That just really burns me. Alright, deal with these great Malboros. I'm definitely glad I'm taking a break from Final Fantasy after... Ooh! The Great Malboro! No bad breath, but it can afflict every status ailment, at least the temporary ones, all at once. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm going to be taking a break from Final Fantasy after finishing this game. Because I'm not sure I would want to jump right into Final Fantasy 3 after what just happened. Because Final Fantasy 3 has a lot of missables, too. Or at least a few. It's mostly... Yeah, Final Fantasy 3 has missable chests and enemies, because there's like some one-time dungeons as well. And then 4 as well. 5 has a ton of missables. 6 has a few, too. 7, not so much. 8, it gets weird. But 7, 8, and 9, I might end up doing 100% playthroughs for the channel. Because I still want to get platinums for those games, and I don't have them. Same with 10 or 12. But I mean, that's a huge undertaking. So I mean, I'm not making promises at all about whether or not I'm going to play the game for the channel, play those games for the channel, let alone whether or not those Let's Plays would be, 100% playthroughs. Okay, for a second I was confused on where to go next after this chest. I even said at the beginning, this is not going to be a 100% playthrough. I did say I would, try to open every chest. That was the plan. Unfortunately, that plan failed. But we're still trying to open as many chests as we can. I'm still trying to get all of them. So it's only the ones in Paul's, hideout that we missed. We deal with this blue dragon. Alright, I might want to switch to magic. There we go. Holy 7, Ultima 7, now Flare 7. Ho! Guy is gone. Alright, in that case, let's do Blink, let's do Life, let's do Haste. Oh, I meant to do Haste on the whole party. Not just Firion. Damn it. Alright, Life 3, Haste 4. Alright, that's fine. Oh, no, it's defeated. Okay, that works. I'll take that. We got another dragon armor. And some cat claws. Although we don't really have a character that can use that. But I can give you the dragon armor. That's a good upgrade for you, I think. And then Maria. Here we go. Level 11 heal now. Yeah, I am definitely not committing to 100%ing the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy for the channel. I might eventually play it for the channel, but I'm not committing to 100%ing it for the channel. I got the platinums for that trilogy late last year, and Lightning Returns wasn't so bad, but Final Fantasy 13, there is a ton of grinding in the post game for that one. All right, Maria's life leveled up. All right, it's probably the door up top is the way forward. Yep. So I'm not committing to anything like that right now. We'll see how I feel when I get to that game, if I get to that game. Probably a couple years from now. The plan right now is to hopefully play through all the Pixel remasters this year, maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. It depends on how long I get through them, how many other games I do, because I'm doing well keeping to just one game at a time. I'm not burning out, keeping to just one game at a time. But if I start doing multiple games, then we start running into problems again. All right. And at some point next year, I would like to play the NES version of at least Final Fantasy 1 for the channel to celebrate the franchise's 40th anniversary. Again, I'm not making promises. This is just what I would like to do. I'm not saying I will do it, just I would like to do it. I'm trying very hard not to make promises I can't keep anymore. Because there have been a number of games I promised over the years that just ended up not happening for one reason or another. Several Let's Plays I've ended up canceling as well. Like most recently, Age of Empires Definitive Edition. I just could not crack the third campaign. Couldn't even crack the first scenario of the third campaign. And was getting so super frustrated with it. If I hadn't switched to playing Quake instead, I probably would have dipped away from YouTube for a while, for who knows how long. Alright, so we got a door here. So let's check this door. See nothing. Alright, Mega Parasites, Ice Lizards, we're okay. And again, I'm not making promises, but I might, let me be clear, might play Pragmata for the channel when it comes out in April. Possibly Saros as well. I might just have to disable HDR for the whole thing, though. And it's like I said earlier, I really do love HDR. I really do think it enhances games. But if I can't find a good way to record it and have it look good without having to produce HDR videos, I don't know. I need to look into it. There we go. So you guys tell me, from video, episode, part 8 to part 9 of Final Fantasy II, did it look better? Did it look less washed out? Or was episode, 1 through 8, was that okay? Oh boy. I forgot we were going to end up with these, okay. King Behemoth, okay. You can just straight up attack. Oh, I thought these were all in Palamecia. Or, not Palamecia, Pandemonium. All the trap chests with the, basically optional super bosses inside the trap chests. Well, this is the first one, the King Behemoth. Alright, let's do... Yeah, let's stick to physical attacks for now. Let's do a Shell to be safe. And a Berserk, and then attack. There we go. Get some good hits in now. Oh, that is a heavy hit. Yeah, it's kind of a personal goal of mine to not necessarily platinum every single Final Fantasy game, but platinum all the mainline ones. And I've already got 1 through 6 done, plus the 13 trilogy and 14 on the PS4, PS3, PS4. I still need to do a whole bunch of others, though. 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2. We got a Rune Axe there. There we go, that's a good upgrade for Guy. I need to do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have Remake and Remake Intergrade done. I need to do 14 on the PS5, which I can just play that on PC and then just log in on PS5 to do it. Problem is, it's a different trophy list from the PS3, PS4 version. And it requires a hell of a lot of grinding. In fact, a number of them do. But I also need 15 and 16 as well. I'm only missing, I think, 1 or 2 trophies from 15 before getting the platinum, not including all the DLC. There's like, I'm missing a bunch of DLC trophies, but the base game, I'm only missing one for the post-game super boss, I think, and maybe one other for clearing all of the side quests. There might be like one side quest I didn't do, or maybe it's getting to max level. I don't remember. I'd have to look at it. Matter of fact, while we're here, I can go ahead and look. Trophies. Can I sort? No, that is friends. I just want to compare. I just wanted to view my specific trophies. No, we just need to look then. All right, 15. Final Fantasy 15. So yeah, Crisis Core. I still need to do all that. That counts as a spin-off, though. I'm not focusing on that right now. 15. Where's 15? There it is, 15. So it says 56% total. But if you go in here, you know, most of this is DLC that I don't have trophies for. All the trophies for. So 15. So the platinum, and then what am I missing? Yeah, so just the trophy for the final, you know, the optional, the post-game super boss. So that's the only trophy I'm missing there. Ah, there we go. There's the magic shop. A mage under the waterfall. Oh, we got ambushed. Leon's not looking too good. Leon's dead. Hit by the salamander. All right, let's bring him back. There we go. All right, let's cure Leon. There we go. All right. Now let's cure outside of combat. All right, everybody's full up now. Can I not talk to you here? I gotta go. Oh, I gotta go around the side under the waterfall. What can I do for you? So we can buy Berserk, Death. Oh, you can actually buy Flare. I did not know you could actually buy Flare. Okay. Well, we're fine with one. It would take too long at this point to raise it up. So I think that's it. I'm not gonna bother. I'm not gonna worry. All right. So which door is the way forward? Not this one. Got ambushed though. Yeah, it's like I kind of want to try to get all of the Kingdom Hearts platinums at some point as well, but that is its own beast. Because the 1.5 and 2.5 HD collections have separate... Oh, all those games have individual trophy lists. And they're separate trophy lists on PS3 and PS4. I think the reason Square did that was because it's two separate collections on PS3, the 1.5 HD collection and the 2.5 HD collection on PS3. But on PS4, it's one collection, one disc. You know, the 1.5 plus 2.5 HD collection. So that might be why they did that. Because otherwise it doesn't fully make sense. Because they have other games they brought over from PS3 to PS4 that share their trophy data. You know, Final Fantasy X, 10-2 HD collection, for example. That shares trophy data across PS3, PS4, and Vita. You know, where even in Japan, you know, 10 and 10-2 were sold separately. Here in the West, you know, it's sold as one collection with 10 on the cartridge and 10-2 as a download code. But all, you know, they all share all three versions of that game share trophy data. But then you have, you know, Final Fantasy XIV, where it's a different trophy list from PS3 and PS4, which share trophy data, to PS5. Or Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has a separate trophy list from Remake Intergrade which also has the DLC list from Intermission. However, that one is a slightly special case because you can transfer save data over from the PS4 to PS5 version. And by loading up that save data, you can auto-pop all those trophies. So you really only have to beat the base game on PS4, transfer your data up, pop them on PS5, and then you can just get the DLC trophies to max them out. Stranger of Paradise. Do I have that on PS... Ooh, yeah, I do have that on PS5. I don't have the PS4 version. I'm pretty sure there's a PS4 version of that. So I need to look and see. Yeah, I don't have the PS4 version of Stranger of Paradise. If I remember correctly, there was a PS4 version. So I'm going to need to get a copy of that. Hopefully I don't have to play that game again on PS4. Because I have almost all of the trophies for that. I have the Platinum and most of the DLC trophies. Here we got a Betrayal Fang. Bunch of great Marlboros here. I would like to eventually join the club of people that have like all of the Final Fantasy trophies. There's only like 10 to 20 people in the whole world, I think, that have done all of them. But I mostly just care about the mainline series right now. I don't care too much about the spin-offs. You know, if I can get the spin-offs, great. But otherwise, you know, some of them are going to be like really tough to do. Oh shit, I need to heal. We'll do that outside. You have bad breath. Oh, that's not good. You've been petrified. So bad breath does exist in this. But it doesn't do... Oh, man. Okay. All right. All right, let's do items, ethers. Max Maria out again. All right, we're good. Okay, there's a chest up here. Great Marlboros. He wanted to put that R in there. It's not Marlboros. Malboros. Marlboros. So yeah, they can inflict, you know, pretty much all the temporary status ailments. No bad breath from these guys, though. There we go. So yeah, again, those are like my personal goals. Oh, we got the Red Dragon. Those are like my personal goals as a gamer. Not for the channel, just as a gamer. Like I said earlier, I don't know if that's worth it to try to do on the channel. You know, for the channel. Ooh. It looks like this is going to be a magic fight. Ooh, that's not good. Okay, let's do... Yeah, let's just have you attack once. Do a cure. And you do Berserk. You attack. Alright, Cure 11. So yeah, he's really not doing anything. Okay, Furion's not too bad with Excalibur there. This hit hard. Okay. So let's go magic then. Alright. How much HP does this guy have? Ooh, Blaze 16. I never got a shell off. Okay, it's not so bad. Alright, just repeat. Rinse and repeat. Okay, we can do one more round. And there we go. All right, Leon's sword and axe leveled up. Good for him. Okay, we got Hermes shoes, and what we get our prize? A Yoichi bow. We already have one of those. All right, so I have 2 doors, up and down. Ah! We chose wisely. Although I forgot to heal after that fight. Shit, Leon's down. Well, he doesn't get anything from this fight. Alright, Maria. There we go. We got an Aegis shield, dragon armor, and a holy lance. Which, of course, nobody needs! Oh, Leon. Yeah, okay. Equip. We've already got dragon armor. What else did I get? Yeah, holy lance, cat claws, Aegis shield. Legendary shield that affords protection against elemental attacks and status ailments. Damn it. Nobody needs any of that shit. Alright, down in the corner here. Deal with these guys real quick. There we go. Alright, down in the corner we go. 'Cause that's the way forward. We're only missing, what, 3 more chests, I think, in the Jade Passage? Alright. So yes, down we go. Alright, yes, we are missing 3 chests. And 2 of them are here. Oh, all 3 of them are here. Okay, there we go. We're almost done with the Jade Passage, which then means it's straight into Pandemonium, the final dungeon of the game. Alright, Abyss Worm. There we go. We got a high potion. Can't hold any more, though. That's fine. Mega Parasite and Ice Lizard. There we go. Perfect. Alright, anything in the store? Probably not. Nope. Okay, got a Protect Ring. Alright, let's give that to... Guy? Ooh. No. Really? Okay. If we give him some evasion. Yeah, I think we will. We'll give it to Leon. No ribbons. We haven't encountered any ribbons. I'm wondering if one of them was in Paul's stash, or maybe there just aren't any ribbons in Final Fantasy II. Got an elixir. Maybe they're in Pandemonium. I don't know. Blaze 6. Guy's in the red with over 1,000 HP now. Alright, Magic Maria. Heal up the party. Thank you. And let's leave the Jade Passage after this fight. There we go. Alright, down. Oh, we're not quite out yet. Almost. One last map here, which is appropriately shaped like a J for Jade Passage. Alright, perfect. Alright, deal with these Hecdies and Abyss Worm. There we go. Almost out of here. Now, if you thought there was a difficulty spike in the Jade Passage, just wait until Pandemonium.